Hey there, I wanted to talk to you about the most useful thing you could do in HubSpot right now, and that today relates to cold calling. A little while back, the Science of Scaling published a research study on cold calling, and there's really two interesting findings in there. The first one relates to the number one skill that salespeople can have for cold calling success. And it's not product knowledge, as you might imagine. It's not even following a script or following a very detailed process. It's adaptability, being able to adapt and react to the situation in real time in the middle of the call. Unfortunately, HubSpot can help you do that. I would strongly recommend using Playbooks. Now, the way most people use Playbooks is by writing out a script or a specific set of elements that you need to click and fill out into that. And as we saw, that's not the biggest determinator of success while cold calling. It's adaptability. So how do you teach reps to be adaptable? I believe that the best way to do that is by helping your reps ask questions. And so if you follow a specific methodology or not, you can list out or identify a whole bunch of questions that salespeople need to have so that when they're on their call, they have a list of potential questions in front of them that would help them adapt in real time. So for example, if you're following like a methodology like SPICE, you could have your situational question, your pain question, your impact questions, and so on and so forth, so that if they feel prospects are closing up, maybe they're diving too deep in the process and they need to build back up again to more situational questions, which tend to be a little bit more, a little less intrusive and maybe a little easier to answer. And so I think using Playbooks to help your reps ask questions is probably the most interesting you could do right now. That said, there was a second finding in that study that I find super interesting, which is they've asked sales leader what they feel is the number one thing that reps can do to ensure cold calling success, and that came out to research. So what the things that the reps do before the call. So the more you understand, they're doing a lot of research on the company, the prospects, and so on and so forth. I'm assuming that's because they think that that's related to adaptability. The more you know about what who you're reaching out to, the more you're able to adapt in real time, in the same way that a tennis pro would be able to go on court, research their opponent, and so on before they play them, so they can adapt and build a plan before the actual match. Same thing. And fortunately, HubSpot can help you there too. And I'm thinking really of two tools in here. The first one is within the Sales Workspace, there's a schedule section. The schedule is kind of outlining all the appointments and calls they have throughout the day. And within there is a prepare option that prompts the reps to research certain components of their prospect and their companies, and that would allow them to do research, so very guided research, let's call it that. The second would be to use or build an AI agent within HubSpot. There are some AI agents that exist already, but you can also tweak it so that it's prompting the agent to do very specific research. So if you're in a very specific industry like HR or accounting, maybe you want to gear that research a bit more down that. So that, my friends, is the most useful thing that you could do in HubSpot right now to help your reps have cold calling success. Thank you. Talk to you soon.